Hey everyone, this is a story that happened a few years ago in Toyama Prefecture, a place known for its beautiful mountains and peaceful countryside. But not everything here is as tranquil as it seems, apparently. At the time, I was living in a small apartment complex in a village near Toyama. Most of the residents were friendly and kept to themselves. However, there was one, Mr. Sato, who had a reputation for being a bit unstable in the head. He lived alone after his wife left him, and everyone in the village knew about his temper and his drinking problem. One day around noon, Mr. Sato's son, Taro, and his wife Hana came to visit him. Taro recently turned 20 years old and had started living on his own. He mentioned to some neighbors that Mr. Sato had invited them over, promising to give money for Taro's sister's birthday. However, many of us suspected something more sinister was going on. Why would Hana-san go back there? It's like walking into a trap, one of the villagers, Mr. Tanaka, whispered to me as he watched them go in. When Hana stepped into the apartment, things escalated quickly.
I'm gonna get you, boy! I'm gonna get you! Get off my land! Get off my land!
In front of Taro, Mr. Sato pulled out a sawed-off shotgun and shot her point blank. Taro, in shock, tried to help his mother. Mr. Sato then turned on Taro with a knife. Despite his horror, Taro managed to lock his father in the apartment and run off to call for help. Within minutes, the police and the local SWAT team have arrived. They warned the residents to either stay inside their apartments or leave the building entirely. Everyone stay back. There is an armed man inside. It's dangerous. I remember how officers shouted. From my window, I could see the chaos unfold. Eventually, the medics carried out Hana's body, a bullet wound in her chest. She was only 44, and despite the paramedics' efforts, she did not survive. She passed away in the ambulance, leaving behind her children and a devastated community. She was a hard-working woman, always looking after her kids, said Mr. Suzuki, another neighbor. She didn't deserve this. None of us did. Mr. Sato, a 55-year-old man, was found to be heavily intoxicated, blowing a 2.65 on a breathalyzer. The neighbors weren't surprised by the tragedy. He's been threatening her for years, said he'd put her in her place. It was only a matter of time, really, Mr. Yamada, another resident, told me later. After their separation, Mr. Sato had frequently threatened not only Hana, but also her new partner, with whom she was reportedly expecting a child. In a drunken rage, Mr. Sato had taken 2 lives that day. What made things even scarier was that Mr. Sato had a collection of weapons in his home. He often practiced shooting from his balcony, aiming at bottles hung on trees in his yard. The neighbors lived in constant fear of his unpredictable behavior. It was terrifying. Every morning hearing those shots, it's a miracle more people weren't hurt, Mrs. Tanaka said. The local social services have been involved with Mr. Sato, trying to manage his behavior. He had moved into the social housing complex a few months after Hannah left him. The family's problems stemmed from his drinking and violence, often requiring police intervention. He was even under a restraining order at one point. Now, with Mr. Sato in custody, our village is trying to heal. The echoes of tragic days still linger, reminding us that even in the most peaceful places, darkness can lurk just around the corner.